Okay, so I think it was last year we called Social Security and we talked to a case manager for our child support in New Mexico. And both of them told us because we're on disability, we don't have to pay this child support back. And we already talked to Maine and they took our Corona check because it was like $3,000 or $4,000 that Maine charged us, when at the same time New Mexico charged us the same amount because it's the total amount of the case. So one state can't claim because you lived in this state, we want that money. When the mother moves to a new state, they look at the total amount due. So you get double charged. And they already got about $2,300 for no reason. $2,300 that we don't get credit for. When we were legally declared not competent to pay it almost 2 or 3 years ago. We can't even remember when we got disability. And now if there's any reason for us to get money, the state of Maine will take it. And it's not like we never wanted to pay our child support. It's we get disability and we drive for DoorDash. And because we drive for DoorDash, they said you can legally make $1,260 a month. And what happens is that keeps you under the taxation, so you don't have to file taxes. And because we work for DoorDash as a private contractor, at the end of the year, we can't claim any gas. We can't claim any maintenance. We can't claim any expenses. We can't claim any of it because legally we're not required to file taxes. And then how is it that two government agencies are going to tell us something and then a third government agency is going to file claim against us and take any money that we may get for something? And we already explained this to Maine, and they said they would stop almost 2 years ago. And here it is again. Okay? We don't understand this. Why is there not a federal agency in charge of child support? A federal agency. So it's not left up to states. It needs to be a federal agency that tracks it all. That way it's more fair for the man and it's more fair for the woman because you don't have to deal with 10 different people to get something done. Okay, and in Georgia, they do not look at your income. They don't look at your income. Our ex-wife played the Price is Right with a judge for about 5 minutes in court, and then they decided how much we had to pay every week. We couldn't afford it, so about 8 months later, we had to hire an attorney to get it cut in half. And they didn't look at our income or her income then either. And with BJ, it's not like we never wanted to pay. It was it's not what we wanted at all. And I wish we would have saved the speeding ticket because it was illegal. Okay, or a parking ticket. Basically, on a parking ticket, you're supposed to have a phone number that you can call and request a challenge. And the city of Kent does not have that on the back of their tickets. They have a website and an address where you can come and pay it. Not even a phone number where you can call and ask a question. So, like we delivered food to an apartment building and parked for 3 minutes, ran upstairs, came back, and a sheriff was going car to car writing tickets in the middle of downtown Kent. We don't know if they can do that or not. We looked online. It says some places you can, some places you can't, and there's no clear-cut answer to any of it. Now, we already paid. Watch out, kitty cat. We already paid the speeding ticket, but this was a letter that was in our mailbox. And, okay, so what we read was you have 15 days. What we read says you have 15 days to, before you have to pay anything. And this basically says after 10 days, it goes from $15 to $25. And then after, looks like another 15 days, they double it to $50. And it's very threatening. I want to read the back because it makes no sense at all. This is the back of a piece of paper now. And it says agency phone number with a phone number. It says notice is hereby given that on the above date and time that the vehicle described was in violation of code section above. Notice was placed upon said vehicle in the manner required by law, giving notice of illegal parking. A citation has been filed with the issuing agency charging you as a registered owner or lessee or renter of said vehicle with the violation mentioned. I don't see any violations on this piece of paper right here. This is not the front. I don't see a date that it's describing or the vehicle violation code. None of it. You can't flip the piece of paper and say above. That's not legal. It's not. The law is about words. The correct words in the correct way. This is, who wrote this is what I would like to know. It says fine increases after 10 days of date of ticket, and then again after 30 days from due date of ticket, okay? It says, therefore, you must contact the issuing agency and answer said citation or deposit required penalty as set before due date, or further penalties will be added and other legal procedures may be initiated. Now that sounds like a threat. This is a freaking parking ticket. Okay, like we dealt with this stuff in Georgia when you hire the cheapest lawyer, this is what you get. Gibberish. Okay? Nowhere on here does it have a phone number to challenge it. And what people don't understand is what we just read is as soon as you pay this, you admitted to guilt. That's not America. So now they don't even inform you that they're supposed to legally, you have a third option. You can pay it online, you can go there and pay it, or you're supposed to be able to contact them and say, I'm not paying this ticket. I want somebody else that is not you, that actually has legal authority, and I want to explain it to them. Now they don't give you that option. They just threaten you. So how is a normal person supposed to obey the law when the sheriff doesn't know the law and the police department doesn't know the law and they write some gibberish that's illegal. How is it that when we have a question about the law, we call the police? And the first time, the first guy said, "Well, I don't know anything about the law. Let me transfer you to the sergeant." And when we were done talking with him, he laughed at us. Because UPS, Amazon, and FedEx people just slam on their brake and stop in the middle of the road. And we said, "Look, man, somebody's going to crash into them and die." And I was like, "Could you, like, I live around here. Could you please, if you see that, tell them they can't do that?" He said, "Oh, no, we're not going to do that." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, we're not doing that." And then I said, "Okay, sir, when is it legal to park in the street?" And he said, "Well, it's pretty much only legal when you're moving out of your house and the vehicle is too large to fit in the driveway." So we got upset and he laughed at us. Now, does that inspire confidence in law enforcement? It doesn't. And it all goes back to, we got this parking ticket on a delivery. We did the exact same thing that UPS, FedEx, and Amazon Prime do. We've seen them do it everywhere. We've seen them do it like in the middle of the road when there's a giant parking lot empty on one side of the building, and then there's a giant parking lot empty on the other side of the building. Yet they pull right up to it. We didn't film this one. Maybe we did. FedEx. Okay, they pull up to a Rite Aid, straddling 4 handicap parking spots. Okay, now what pissed us off and made us call the cops in the first place and ask them was, I think it was UPS, or it doesn't matter, but he slammed on his brake in the middle of a 4-lane street. Okay. And we pulled up beside him and said, "On your license, does it say you can park anywhere?" And he said, "Under federal law, I can park my effing truck any effing where I want." And we got upset about that. And when we called the local cops to say, "Hey, man, this is out of control," they laughed at us. So, which is it? I can't do my job without getting a ticket because I'm an individual, and billion-dollar corporations can break the effing law every single day, and no one cares. No one cares. And it's not just parking tickets and delivery drivers. It's on every single level, and we can see it now. It's disgusting.